Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A blanket of snow covers the state line as residents work to shovel a path. The winter weather workers suit up for a busy day. We'll take you on the route. It's been 1 month since 3 people were killed and 3 more were hurt in a mass shooting at Don Carter Lanes. The Rockford community remembers the victims and continues to offer support. And months ago, working in pajamas seemed like a dream. Now the home office has turned into the setting of a nightmare. A therapist offers advice on avoiding burnout. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Meanie Murphy is off tonight. While you may have had to clear away leftovers from last night's winter storm around your house, seasonal workers cash in. Michelle Rave tagged along with a plow driver who says snowfall like last night's event is his bread and butter.
It was an early morning for many across the state line as several inches of drifting snow created challenges. Postal worker Allison Ward started work at 6 in the morning.
It's been okay. I mean, there's a lot of drifts where I get stuck for a minute, but I could get through. Helps to have four-wheel drive.
Durand resident George Letcher made alternative plans to avoid leaving home.
Well, I had to get the driveway cleaned out. I was supposed to have an appointment in Rockford this morning, but I called and canceled it because I wasn't sure what the weather and the roads were going to be like. And with all the wind and the drifting, I figured it probably wouldn't be good, so I just rescheduled for another day.
Others forced into the weather were not as lucky, some ending up in ditches. Brian Nalen Jr., owner of KGLB Snow Removal, it's been a challenging winter.
This year it's been really early. You go to bed thinking it's not snowing and wake up and there's 3 inches of snow. This year hasn't been so much forgiving. You got to go back at it. Being that I work a full-time job and I run the business. It's harder this year because we're getting a lot more snow. It's more regular. It hits you when you don't expect it, so it's tough.
Nalen let me ride along as he made some of his rounds.
I've already went through, I think, 80 50-pound bags of salt this year already, and I just ordered 60 more that came in today.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty out, just trying to find some footing and stuff. So,
reporting for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
Today marks 1 month since a gunman took 3 men's lives at a Rockford bowling center. On the night of December 26th, Dennis Steinhoff, Jerome Woodfork, and Thomas Furseth were killed at Don Carter Lanes. 3 others were hurt. The suspected gunman, a U.S. Army Green Beret, is due in court February 16th. Don Carter's general managers raised more than $24,000 for the victims through a GoFundMe page. Rockford's Miracle Mile has also set up a fundraiser. You can find both links to those at mystateline.com. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from the general manager on how his staff is coping with the aftermath of the tragedy. First responders rushed to a car crash near a Rockford golf course. Happened before 1 this afternoon near Sandy Hollow Road and Holiday Drive. That's about a block away from Sandy Hollow Golf Course. The wreck involved a semi-truck with a Pepsi logo on it, a light blue sedan, and a white SUV. Police say the crash led to non-life-threatening injuries. Officers didn't tell us how many people were hurt. We also don't know what investigators think may have caused that crash. At the start of the pandemic, employees packed up their laptops, cleaned out their desks, and started working from the safety of their own homes. Now, almost a year later, for many, the excitement has worn off and burnout has set in. A local therapist tells Ari Bruckman about the mental toll of working from home.
Fear and panic are huge right now.
The coronavirus pandemic has forced most of us to change how we go about our day-to-day lives. As a result, many companies have allowed employees to work from home. According to therapist Jennifer Frummel, after nearly a year dealing with COVID, many are feeling burnt out and stressed.
It starts to not just have you feel stuck because you're physically in this one place most of the time, but then when you add to it going out in public and the strains of COVID, it aids and abets that. So it creates for many people kind of like this internal state of panic.
A recent Flex Jobs and Mental Health America survey found 75% of Americans have experienced burnout at work. 40% specifically blamed COVID. Mark Schuler is a sociology professor at NIU. He believes working at home isn't the only reason people are burnt out.
Human beings are hardwired to be social, and we are community-oriented in nature. That's how we evolved. I think compounded by the fact that we had 45 million people out of a job last year. It's the fact that it compounded the social issues that the pandemic brought about.
Frummel believes some people aren't getting the same mental rewards from work.
Anytime any of us are feeling dissatisfaction in our place of employment, specifically, I think it's easy for people to look at that, is, you start feeling like you're stuck. You can't get out.
To learn more about how you can get help if you're experiencing work fatigue, visit this story on mystateline.com. In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
State line healthcare systems continue to roll out Phase 1B of Illinois' COVID-19 vaccination plan. Mercy Health will offer the shot by appointment only starting this week. Phase 1B includes essential workers and those over the age of 65. Anyone who is eligible will receive a message in their Mercy My Chart inviting them to register. Those who do not receive an invitation can still register for the vaccine using the Winnebago County Health Department's digital tool. Small businesses in Loves Park will soon receive a financial boost thanks to a hospitality grant through the city. More than $292,000 is up for grabs. The program was created this month and approved by city council members last night. 50 restaurants, bars, and gaming establishments impacted by the pandemic will benefit from the grant. President Biden says the coronavirus pandemic has disproportionately impacted communities of color. After the break, the administration's latest efforts to even the playing field. And tax season is almost upon us. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll tell you the date to start sending in paperwork and when you might be able to expect a return.
And the snow showers coming down early today, coming to an end, but dealing with some chill now that'll be setting in these next couple of days. A look at how cold it gets and some local snowfall totals from across the area, all coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
The effects of racial inequality in the U.S. can be seen by how the pandemic is financially and physically impacting communities of color. Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports President Biden signed a series of executive orders to address the gap. She's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
President Joe Biden says the death of George Floyd shifted the ground on racial issues in the U.S.
It was the knee on the neck of justice, and it wouldn't be forgotten.
President Biden signed 4 executive orders aimed at fighting racial inequality, including one that directs the Justice Department to phase out and end contracts with private for-profit prisons. A second order directs the Department of Housing and Urban Development to address discriminatory housing practices.
Just imagine if instead of denying millions of Americans the ability to own a home and build generational wealth, we made it possible for them to buy a home.
Another directs federal agencies to strengthen relationships with Native American communities. And the last condemns and addresses racism and hate crimes directed at Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders due to the pandemic.
President Biden released his American Rescue Plan that will make historic investments in advancing equity. Independent economists estimate that his plan will cut child poverty in half.
Susan Rice is director of the Domestic Policy Council.
If we closed racial gaps in income and opportunity, we could add $5 trillion to the U.S. economy over the next 5 years.
Rice says the administration will continue striving toward equality by working to get congressional support for President Biden's economic and racial equity agenda. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Much more quiet for us this evening. A live look with our Mercy SkyTrack camera now out over the Park Hills Golf Course here in Freeport. While we had the cloud cover earlier today, those clouds now clearing out this evening, which will pave the way for a rather cold night following some of the snow we had late last night and throughout much of this morning and early afternoon. Still some lake effect snow showers impacting areas closer towards Chicago, northwestern Indiana, as that wind continues continues to work in from the north. But as some drier air moves in, that's helping to get away and erode away, I should say, some of that cloud cover. Now our snow, while it took a while for some of that to really get going in some places yesterday evening, once it did not disappoint. In fact, our snow totals really ranging anywhere from about 4 up to 6 inches. Beloit 6 inches, 5.5 in DeKalb, Amboy 5 inches, Ashton 4.9, Paw Paw 4, and Capron coming in with 3.5. And the impact from the wind and the snow, you had blowing and drifting snow throughout much of the day. Our weather watcher Ben here in South Beloit had 6.5 inches of snow, 26 degrees, 25 right now for Bob here in Rockford, ended up with 3 inches of snow. Mike down in Forston, 22, had a little hard time measuring with the blowing and the drifting. And yeah, you guys might have had some hard time too. 26 degrees, Sandy in the Kirkland Fairdale area, but said it's nice to be able to see the sun setting this evening. But that means it's going to be a colder night tonight. 22 in Freeport, 27 in Rockford, 24 in Rochelle. While the wind is not as gusty as what it was earlier today, still coming in from the north means we'll have plenty of chills there tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if some areas fall into the upper single digits for the start of tomorrow. While we're clearing out some of the cloud cover, our next low pressure system down to the southwest, that's going to bypass us mostly to the south here as we go through the day tomorrow. So likely all we are going to see from that is just a general increase in cloud cover through the morning. Now, I'm not going to completely rule out the possibility of maybe a flurry or two as we head mid to late morning, but that would be it. Anything accumulating is going to stay further down to the south and closer to where that low pressure system is located. Following that, though, high pressure builds in, and this means we've got some cold nights ahead and some colder days too. But on the flip side, we are going to see more sunshine. In fact, those cold nights, we've got single-digit lows coming up, and Wednesday night into Thursday, that low temperature could be down to 0, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some spots get sub-0 numbers heading into early Thursday. We are watching, though, our next weekend storm system. This one might actually have a little bit more warm air with it, so if that's the case, we could see more of a mix rather than just all snow Saturday into Sunday. But here are some of our hometown numbers: 11 in Freeport, 13 in Byron. We'll make it into the low 20s for tomorrow afternoon with that sunshine, but there's that cold that takes hold as we head into early Thursday morning. So temperatures here the next 7 days, they look like this. We're at 20 degrees on Thursday, 26 on Friday. We bump the numbers up into the low 30s Saturday, Sunday, and then stay in the 30s, Eric, early next week.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Leber.
Reports are coming out around the NFL that Aaron Rodgers doesn't so much want out of Green Bay as he wants a new contract, and that's the reason for some of his remarks about his uncertain future. Rodgers' average annual pay through the next 3 seasons is $33.5 million. That puts him 5th on the list of NFL quarterbacks and well behind Patrick Mahomes' $45 million average. I can understand the competitor in Aaron Rodgers leading him to believe he should be higher up on the list than number 5. But he knew when he signed his contract extension in 2018 that players would eventually pass him up in the following years. That's the way it works. When he signed the extension, it made him the highest paid player in the NFL at that time. The Packers will no doubt have to pay up to keep Rodgers happy. They can't afford to let him go yet. Jordan Love isn't ready. The Packers are already in trouble with the salary cap, but they can use some deferred payments and bonus money and other cap maneuvers to make Rodgers' contract work while minimizing the salary cap hit for next season. If the Packers throw some extra money Rodgers' way, his uncertain future becomes far more clear, at least for the next season, when all this talk about Rodgers' future will surface a year from now again. You can bank on that. Well, the IHSA is expected to release tomorrow new time frames for the remaining high school seasons, winter, spring, and summer. Can they still work in all 3? We're less than a week away from February. There are 21 weeks left from the start of February through the end of June, which is when high school sports would have to end for this school year. So at the most, each season could last only 7 weeks, and that would leave no time for athletes and coaches to transition from one sports season to the next. I know IHSA administrators don't want to leave any sport and any season out of the mix. They want everyone to have a shot at competing. Realistically, though, to pull off 3 seasons, They'd have to shorten each one to 5 weeks, and that might happen, or they could drop one of the seasons and extend the other two, which probably makes more sense. That's what I would do. I said this a couple weeks ago. The IHSA, as painful as it'll be, needs to drop either the winter sports season or the spring sports season, which now consists of the postponed fall sports of football, girls volleyball, and boys soccer. As I said a couple weeks ago, going to be painful, but something has to be done. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Our first Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. We're getting rid of some of the snowfall from what we had earlier today. And our sky's clearing out too, which means it'll be a colder night tonight. Temperatures down around 12 here in Rockford, but some outlying areas, especially if we can hang on to that clear sky, could fall into the upper single digits. 21 for tomorrow afternoon, down to 0 Wednesday night. Plenty of sunshine though for Thursday. Highs near 20 degrees. We warm into the 30s by the end of the week.
It's nice to see that rebound to Saturday and Sunday. Candice, thanks. Stay safe.